This is the Rode Wireless Pro and the DJI Mic 2. They are the two smallest, most professional wireless audio transmitters out there. To simplify things for those who don't know about either device, the Rode Wireless Pro is pretty much the most professional option that will work with every single camera possible. When it comes to the DJI Mic 2, it's very similar to the Rode Wireless Pro, but also different in certain ways. Different where if you have a device like the Osmo Pocket 3, or you have any of the modern Sony mirrorless cameras like the FX30 we're using now, FX3, A7S3, A7 IV, etc., DJI actually makes a module that you can stick on top of your cameras, hook up the DJI Mic 2 receiver, and go directly into your camera without having to use any kind of cord, which is really great for gimbal work and any kind of work where the cord may get in the way. Now, the drawback to the DJI is the actual clip. Like, as you can see here, this has a clip on the bottom. The clip on the DJI mic just isn't as good as the Wireless Pro from Rode. It's not even a clip. Some cameras you can't even attach the DJI Mic 2 transmitter to. You have to have some external device that will attach it there, or you have to jimmy rig something, where because of how Rode made this device, it just works really well and it goes into most camera hot shoes, or if you have a cold shoe or you have a cold shoe you're going to put on your cage, well, the Rode Wireless Pro goes just right in, and because of the pressure, it stays in place. Where if you're using a cold shoe on cages like I do with the red Komodo, you can't even use the DJI Mic 2. So that is a really big difference right there. These are the two cases for the Rode Wireless Pro. This is the case that comes with the lavaliers and all the extra accessories. And this is the charging case that comes with the transmitters and the receiver. Now you can tell it's a charging case because right here on the back, you can see there's that actual spot where you could plug in a USB-C, which makes it really easy to charge the transmitters. There is an internal battery in this case, and you wouldn't really tell because it kind of looks like it's a soft case, but it isn't. It is a hard pouch. This is the pouch for the DJI Mic 2. As you can see, it's a little bit bigger, and then when you open it up, there are some slots in here for extra little pieces. And then as you see, I pulled out the hard case, which has the transmitter and receivers in it, and it has a USB here on the back. Now, you can see the actual battery level of this case a little bit more accurately right here at the front. As I open it up and close it, it has the 4 battery marks right here, and there aren't 4 battery marks on the Rode Wireless Pro case. So that is worth noting. You can see a little bit easier where you are battery level here. It has the slots back here for the phone accessories. I'm using the receiver and the transmitter, but as you can see, they go in here as well. Up here is the attachment device that I have from DJI. And as you see, it attaches to the back of the transmitter unit, and it makes it so I don't have to have any cables. For gimbal work, having this attachment on the camera has been really great because I don't have to have a cable flopping around, and everything is balanced and stays where it should when it's on the gimbal. Now, it's not the end of the world to have cables. For many years, especially when I've been using the Rode Wireless Go's, I've had cables on the side of the camera, but it's just nice to have that peace of mind that the cable's not going to get snagged anywhere. And then, of course, depending on what kind of gimbal you have, especially if you have some of the cheaper ones where every angle matters of the balance. When you change the location of the wire, if it's a heavy wire, like the DJI does come with a pretty heavy duty wire, which is part of the reason I didn't like using it all the time. Being able to not use the wire helps a lot. Both of them have a 3.5mm input jack for lavalier mics. They both have internal 32-bit float. They both have wind muffs, as you can see right here. I have the little dead cat on the Mic 2 and the dead cat that comes on the Wireless Pro. Both of the dead cats are fitted to these microphones, so it's really hard to pull them out, especially the Wireless Pro. The DJI is a little bit easier, but it still takes some force to pull that thing out. Now, the Rode has a professional lock built into the actual transmitter that the DJI doesn't. There's a little bit of a workaround where a lot of people are basically putting their wire through this piece right here. And I do think this little piece that has a circular opening was made to act as a lock, but it's not quite as professional as the lock on the Wireless Pro. And that's why I think if you're trying to look at one of these and you're doing professional video, the Wireless Pro is really going to be your option. If you're using any of the cameras I mentioned before, especially the Osmo Pocket 3, or maybe something like the DJI Action 4, well, The Mic 2 doesn't have to hook up to the actual receiver for those cameras. The receiver is actually built in to the Osmo Pocket 3. So that's part of the reason why I bought the Mic 2, because I use this all the time with my Osmo Pocket 3 and occasionally with my Action 4. The difference between those two cameras is the Osmo Pocket 3 will let you have 2 transmitters go into the Osmo Pocket, where the Osmo Action will only let you have one of the transmitters go into the Osmo Action, but no other action camera is letting you do that. Rode was nice enough to send me out the Wireless Pro for these tests. Now, I've used the Wireless Go before, and as I said, I bought the DJI Mic 2 specifically for my Osmo Pocket, but I do want to thank Rode for sending this out, because now I can put these together side by side. Now, when I'm on set, most of the time I do have a sound engineer. They're recording sound, they're taking sound for me. I don't need these most of the time unless I'm either doing YouTube videos or I'm doing kind of an all-in-one type gig where I'm the cameraman, the audio guy, the gaffer, and that happens. In South Florida, I do occasionally get requests for that. I do charge for that, but it's nice to have these microphones so I can at least offer sound. So as you can see, I'm wearing both the DJI Mic 2 and the Rode Wireless Pro, and I'm wearing them on my shirt using magnets. Now, both of these systems have magnets. The difference is going to be the DJI Mic 2 has the ability to always have the magnet on the back, where the Rode Wireless Pro has this little magnetic sleeve that goes on the back clip, which lets you use the magnet whenever you want, and then you can take the sleeve off when you don't want to use the magnet. Now, this is really going to be a personal preference thing. I guess if you don't want to have your wireless device be magnetic all the time, then the Wireless Pro is going to make a little bit more sense in that department. If you don't care, then either one will work. But it is worth noting, if you don't want the magnet, you can remove the sleeve, and it's always there on the DJI mic. Since I'm wearing both microphones at the same time, I am going to be testing the audio today, recording in both of these audio transmitters, because it is worth noting the sound is a little bit different from microphone to microphone. Now, we're only testing the internal microphones on both of these transmitters, because although the Rode Wireless Pro comes with lavaliers, the DJI Mic 2 does not. DJI does sell lavaliers separately, but it doesn't come with the kit. And that is worth noting, because I want to talk about the price of both of these units. Now, for the longest time, the Rode Wireless Pro was somewhat more expensive, in some cases considerably more expensive compared to the DJI Mic 2. But now, the price of both of these units are very similar. You can go get the DJI Mic 2 on B&H for $349, and you could go buy the Rode Wireless Pro kit for $357. So it is a $7 difference. And with the Rode Wireless Pro kit, you get the 2 lavaliers. One of the cool things with the DJI Mic 2 is that the actual microphone has haptic feedback. So whether you're turning on or off the microphone, whether you're hitting the record button, the link button, you're always gonna have a little vibration from the transmitter, which lets you know your action has been completed. You don't get that on the Rode Wireless Pro. One of the things I even noticed filming today's video is when I wanted to hit record in the transmitters, I instantly knew that I was recording in the Mic 2, where on the Wireless Pro, I had to look down and make sure that the record button was on. So here I'm using the Osmo Action 4 with the DJI Mic 2. Now, it's one of the beauties of the Osmo Action 4 that I could just take this DJI Mic 2 and not have to use a receiver hooked up to the Action 4. I could just link this directly in. Now, if you're using something like a GoPro or any of the other action cameras that are not an Action 4, well, they don't have this ability, so it doesn't really matter which system you use, because you're going to have to use a receiver. But it's cool that using the Action 4, you can get really great audio quality. When it comes to getting the internal audio recorded on both of these microphones, you can hook both of them up to your computer using USB-C. But the one difference that the Rode Wireless Pro has over the DJI mic, you can actually hook up both transmitters in the charging case through the USB-C port on the charging case and access both transmitters' audio at once, in addition to updating the firmware of all 3 at once. Where on the DJI Mic 2, you just plug in one at a time. So there is a little bit of a time savings on the Rode Wireless Pro, but it is worth noting that, because actually when I tried to put the Rode Wireless Pro in my computer, although it recognized in the Rode software, I couldn't get it to show up in the actual removable disc section of my Mac. But then when I plugged it in to my computer via the charging case, I was actually able to get both transmitters to show up in the removable disk section of my Mac, just like it was an external hard drive. So when I'm using the Wireless Pros, it actually makes more sense, at least in my case, to just plug in directly to the charging case and not even bother hooking up one transmitter at a time. The big question that a lot of you are going to have watching this video is, which kit makes more sense? And I think it really comes down to, if you're using any of the cameras that can use the special abilities of the DJI Mic 2, well, although the DJI Mic 2 doesn't have lavs, it makes a little bit more sense because of the convenience. However, if you're not using any of the cameras that use the DJI Mic 2, due to the limitations, especially due to the clip on the receiver not being able to be used in a lot of cold shoes, just because it's not really a clip like on the Rode Wireless Pro, it's really just a piece that can slot into certain hot shoes of cameras if it's tight enough. I think the Rode Wireless Pro is the more professional, widely used option, just because it's easier to use, quite frankly, and it's got a lot of these features, and for $7 more, you do get more for your money. It really all depends on your situation, which is why I wanted to make today's video. So I do want to thank Rode again for sending out the Wireless Pro. They reached out a few months ago, and I've been using both of these devices just so I could actually have real-world experience of the differences in both of the units. I bought the DJI Mic 2, as I said earlier, for my Osmo Pocket, and then for my Sony cameras, which that whole adapter piece came out later. If you have any questions, anything that I maybe didn't go over in today's video, let me know in the comments below. And if you got knowledge and value out of today's video, please make sure to hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell to keep up to date with the latest videos on the channel. I'm going to finish up this walk out here. It's a really nice and beautiful day, and it has been crazy rainy out, so I'm going to try and take advantage of it. So until next time, my name's Jeff Fagien. Thank you for joining me as always, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye.